and I won't waste it.
Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM and welcome back to Growing the Dream. I do hope you're all doing very well and having a brilliant day. So, September the 4th, first thing in the morning, the cows here need a little bit of food. Thankfully, we still had a little bit of TMR left in the mixer here from the last time we fed them. So, yeah, they're just getting a top up. They had run right down to zero, but their health and productivity hadn't dropped any, so that's all good. But yeah, just need to top them up a bit here, and then we can crack on with a bit of work. Now, in this episode, we're going to be concentrating and focusing essentially on the grass field that we spent a load of time in the last episode, and I suppose a lot of it is just getting my head around this new and quite frankly wonderful soil and fertilizer mod. There is so much to take on board with it, and it isn't just a case of just stick it in your game and go for it, do you know what I mean? There's so much to learn, so much finite detail, I suppose, that yeah, it just requires a bit of care and attention and a bit of time. Now, thanks to the fact that the soil and fertilizer mod does have a treatment plan kind of function inside it, that I can tell and I've been able to see exactly what nutrients my fields need. So I have spent, as you can see, the bank balance has come down a few quid since the last time you was all here. I have spent a little bit of money on some liquid MAP, monoammonium phosphate, and some liquid potash. But of course, for me anyway, on this save, it's not even that straightforward, because the fields that I want to work in are, or started out life as more than one field. So, for example, I'll just jump into cab here. Field 15 requires liquid MAP, as does field 19. Field 18 is fine for that. Field 18 does still need a little bit of lime, strangely, even though we limed the field in the last episode. But a big shout out to one of you viewers. I've actually just seen the message, the comment, sorry, a few moments ago from Dr. Octa68, who kind of did experience a very similar thing, and he said he fixed it by using a bit of solid lime, throwing it on the field. But I haven't got the opportunity to do that because I don't have a solid fertilizer spreader, so I am just going to have to let that be for now. There's not much I can really do about it at the minute. So, but anyway, like I say, it's a learning curve, this mod. It is so incredibly detailed that I'm more than happy to, you know, learn from my mistakes. And like I said in the last episode, I just find it so much easier to take stuff on board and learn how to use something as detailed as soil and fertilizer just by doing it. You know, making those mistakes, making those errors, learning from them, and just understanding how it works. I just find it so much better. But yeah, so the treatment plan has told us that we need to give fields 15, 18 and 19 a spread of liquid MAP and some liquid potash. But yeah, like I say, because they're now 3 fields joined into one, it's the kind of, they need treatment in certain patches, so it's not just a case of throwing liquid MAP across the whole thing and then liquid potash across the whole thing. Fields 15 and 18 require some potash, but 19 doesn't. 15 and 19 require MAP, but 18 doesn't. So it's, you know what I mean? So I'm going to be careful with this one, but again, it's like I said, it's a learning curve. It's certainly really, really cool. It really is. So yeah, but what I do need to do, what I need to focus on, the reason why I am still focusing on this field is because I need to get some grass on the farm. At the minute, a couple of episodes ago, we did cut some grass and we've wrapped up for some silage, and we also got a little bit of hay as well. But we've got, the bales are currently 63% fermented. We've got 15 bales, 5,500 litres each, giving us a quantity in the future, in the near future, of 82,500 litres. Of silage coming, but at the minute I've got none. The cows are going through a fair bit of food now, and I need to be very mindful of making sure I keep on top of their health, especially as we're going to be coming into winter in the next few months. So I need to make sure when the cows come in from the pastures into the barn, the Herefords in particular here, we're going to be needing to feed those a proper feed, total mixed ration. So I need to make sure I've got plenty of grass. Now, at the minute, we're going to be planting this grass now. I need to hitch up the seeder and get some seed loaded in. Because that's pretty much all I can do at the minute, is sort out the grass fields, and then next month, come October, we are going to be drilling some wheat as well up the hill in field 10. But until then, I've got to get the grass sorted. Now I am going to be cutting it really, really fine with the grass, I think, pretty much, because this field we're going to be working in now is the only field we're going to be able to get done and be able to take advantage of the grass of the first cut, which at the minute is going to be December. The other field that I'm going to be stitching together, the 3 fields on the other side of the farm over there, we've got to wait for the mint to come out the ground, which is next month. But then I'm not going to be able to turn that round, get the grass seeded in there, get all that work done, get the field stitched together, drill it with grass, and be able to get a cut out of that before next year, essentially, because that's, you know, you need a good couple of months clear in order for the grass to grow, and then to be able to cut it, and that's going to take us well into winter. So I'm going to be a bit stuck. So this big field that we're going to be getting drilled now is going to be our only source of grass and hay or silage, whatever, to see us through into next year. So I've got to be really, really careful. So what I may end up having to do is essentially split the field once we get to first cut. I may end up having to turn some of it for silage, get it wrapped, but also ted some of it as well. So I'm going to have to be very, very careful with that. So let me just think what I'm doing here now. Let's get this thing unfolded. I've got the telehandler ready there. We need to go and pick up a couple of the big bags of seed. I did pick up a couple of big bags of seed as well from the shop. And then what I'm doing, let's open the cover up there. That's good stuff. You stop rolling, you. There we go. So yeah, plenty to concentrate on. It really is. I know a lot of people have said it, but it really is an absolute game changer, this soil and fertilizer mod. Admittedly, I have, so far anyway, found differing results with it. And one thing I had missed off since the last episode, and it's I suppose this is my own fault really, but what the soil and fertilizer mod requires also, and this is just something that I'd completely missed. I'd gone to the Coding Dad's GitHub, I downloaded the mod, stuck it in my mod folder, and just went full bore, you know what I mean? But it does actually require an extra bit of software called a soil installer that you need in order to get it to function properly. And I hadn't installed that at all. I've now got it installed now, but it's a separate little kind of very small little program that you need to run outside of the game. Essentially, you need to have Farming Simulator not running, and then you run this little program, and it recognizes where your saves and your maps are stored, and it essentially creates a, I think it's like a custom soil map, I believe, or something like that. And what that does is it enables the soil and fertilizer mod to work properly, correctly in a way. So I've done that now. But yeah, like I say, I've had differing results with it, because I've been setting up another save on a US map that I've really wanted to use this soil and fertilizer mod with. And why isn't that emptying? Come on, do me a favour, will you? Oh, there we go. I just had, it's the distance thing, isn't it? I hadn't just pulled. There we go. That's better. That's better. Have I got that full? Let's just check that out. You see, I'm not quite over it, am I? Silly boy. It is quite a challenge to get that visual thing correct. It's only a few inches, I get that, but I can hear them already. Skill issues. Right. Let's just... There we go. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. It is only emptying out one of them, I think, at the minute, though. Right. Is that a bit better? Yeah. Looks like it. let's just check on the fill level. We'll come up to here. Seeds, I've got 1,000 litres. That should be enough, actually, I think, for the seeds, because NX Modding's wonderful farm kit mod does have a kind of like a field quantity reader kind of thing, so you can tell how many seeds need to for each individual crop need to go into each individual field. And across the 3, obviously grass seed doesn't use up a lot, does it? So that's all good. But yeah, I think we've filled that up there nicely. We can get a little bit more out into it there. We may as well, aren't we? We're going to need it eventually. So yeah, but yeah, this soil layer installer was something that Soil and Fertilizer apparently very much needs to run properly. So now that's installed and running properly, I'm hoping it should be running exactly as it should be. But yeah, I tried running Soil and Fertilizer on a US map. Admittedly, this particular map, I believe, already had something of a custom soil map. And I've opened the save game, loaded in the Soil and Fertilizer mod, and every single field is completely devoid of any kind of nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, all that kind of stuff, lime. So it's whether it is working correctly or not, I don't know. But yeah, it's just interesting, you know, just to see how this extremely detailed mod performs with different maps that are in different forms, I suppose, within the game. But anyhow, right. I think we're ready to rock and roll now. Now, of course, this this drill can take solid fertilizer as well, but I'm not going to be doing any of that because I do need to pay very close attention to the detail that Soil and Fertilizer is going to give me. So I don't want to be just spreading solid fertilizer across the whole field. Like I mentioned before, I've got to concentrate on the nutrients that each of the parts of the field need individually. And that means taking my time, using the sprayer. Oh, I didn't show you before, but yeah, the shelves in the workshop there have now got a few products on the MAP that I bought, the potash and the liquid lime that we had left over from the last episode. So we've got the cupboards aren't quite bare now. We've got a few things stored away on the shelves, so that's all good. But yeah, I need to get the grass seed drilled first, so that Soil and Fertilizer will then tell me exactly the levels of the MAP and the potash that the field will need once the seeds are in. So I think I'm following things in the correct process. So let's get around to the field. I have been toying with the idea of creating a new field entrance that just makes it a little bit more straightforward for me to get round to the field, possibly opposite my opposite the entrance to my farm there, but we'll see. That can be something I do in the future. But I just appreciate that every time I need to come round to this field, I've got to come right the way around here, which is fine, I suppose. It's always a nice little journey round here into this little beautiful little village hamlet, I suppose you could call it. The church bells there. This is very quaint, isn't it? Right then, so I'm going to knuckle down to this and get this grass drilled, and then once the seed's in, liquid Soil and Fertilizer will tell us exactly what we need to get the yields as good as they can be. We still do need to consider that this section of the field that I'm currently parked in is presently overlimed, and again, I don't think there's much I can do about it. I mean, there is something I can do about it. I can spend some money, lease a solid fertilizer spreader, buy some gypsum and throw it over the field. But if I jump into the PDA and just remind ourselves where we're up to with it all, so pH, yeah, there we go. So this whole section of the field here, if we click on any of the tiles, it's overlimed by, if we go off what is optimal here, a pH level of 6.6, this is currently 0.6 units over what I believe is considered optimal. And this section here, which we did lime in the last episode, is 0.5 units lower than what it should be. So it's a bit of a nightmare, and I know it's a bit awkward in my particular situation because I'm working with 3 fields now who now have been joined into one, so each of the 3 fields require entirely different treatments, and I'm trying to treat them all as one. So initially, at least until I get this first load of work done, I guess things are going to be the way they are. But then once we've got the field done in one, and then the grass is cut, hopefully in the future things might hopefully even out a bit, and then in the future it'll be a little bit easy to work with. The same will be with fields 7 and 8 here, and also we'll experience the same thing as well with these 3 fields, fields 4, fields 5 and fields 6, once we turn these to grass as well and got this mint out the ground next month. So yeah, lots to consider, lots to think about, but anyway, for now I shall shut up and get back in the tractor, and we'll get drilling some grass, eh? So I'll get this done, and I'll see you in a bit. Right then, not long to go. Got about 20 minutes left on this one, I think, before the field's done, but the seed is going down very, very well indeed. And now that the seed is in the parts of the field that it is in, we can see in the soil and fertilizer heads-up display the exact numbers of the areas of the field that need topping up with a particular amount of MAP or potash or lime or anything like that. The detail, now that we've got the seed in the ground, is right there. But before I get to that, I do, of course, need to roll the field. I don't think I necessarily need to, in order to get to see the data and get the data exactly as it needs to read. But in my mind, it makes sense. I'm gonna, before we get down to topping up the different parts of the field with the different products, I'm gonna finish this job off. We do have this really, really nice Holaris tire. Is it Holaris or Holaris tire roller on the farm? 6.5 meters wide. Seems perfect for this farm, that's why I picked it. It's been in the shed here since the beginning of the series. But yeah, I'm going to throw that on the field, get that done quickly off camera, and then once that's done, and we'll get a slightly better idea of the yield bonuses and yield numbers that we may get from this field as well. Once that's sorted, what I'm going to do is pop this tractor into a bit of maintenance. It does need a little bit of looking at, I think. We did establish that in the last episode, throw a few grand at it and get it tip-top, give it a quick wash, give it a quick dusting out and blow out with the air machine, just to get it exactly as it needs to be, because this is an expensive bit of kit. We're in debt with it, we need to look after it, and obviously with advanced damage system being what it is, I need to make sure that this thing is running at its absolute best all the time. So yeah, we'll get the rolling done. I'll put this into the maintenance, and then we'll be jumping back into the Massey with the sprayer and getting out here in the field. We need to sort out the potash, we need to sort out the liquid MAP, and then that should be this field completely done. But until then, like I say, I'll get this finished, we'll get the rolling done. I'll pick you up when the rolling's done, when we're back at the farm, and then we'll sort out having a look at the field in the heads-up display in the PDA, sorry, and have a look at the exact numbers that the soil requires for topping up. So I'll see you soon. There we are, welcome back folks. So a little bit of time later, and that is the rolling done. Now across the entire field, as we know, I suppose, we're no strangers to the 2% yield bonus that we do get from rolling a field, but it's a decent sized field, isn't it? So come the first cut, that 2% could amount to a decent amount of grass, and like I said before, needing to focus on getting as much grass, hay or silage onto the farm as possible. it was well worth doing that. It really was. So what I am going to do, though, I did point this out in the last episode, I think, didn't I, when I was running the cultivator on this tractor. But this tractor does feel a little bit light on its front wheels when you've got something pretty vast hanging off the back end. Now, this roller does have an extra, it's right in the middle there, it's got an extra 1.3 tons of weight on it, which I know may be a little bit surplus to requirements, but still, this tractor is a little bit, does feel a little bit uneasy on its front wheels. But what I did realise is that I can actually increase the agri bumper that's on the front, the weight of it, sorry. So that's what we're going to do before we throw it into a bit of maintenance, and we can essentially do without it for a few hours while we jump into the Massey and the sprayer and sort out the numbers of those fields, and we'll have a look at those in a little bit more detail in a minute or two. But if I jump into the shop, I want to go to customize first. So yeah, we've got a 1400 kilogram agri bumper at the minute. This might cost me a couple of whoa, really? Oh no, 10 grand? No chance. For 400 kilograms. That's a bit excessive, isn't it? I had a look at it before, but I thought it might charge me just the increments between this weight. I'd already paid for the 1400 kilograms. I thought the difference between the 1400 and the 1800 would be considerably less than that. 10 grand? Not a chance. No, thank you. Right, yeah, you can forget that, mate. Goodness me. Farmers are up against it financially. There's no chance I'm waiting for that. Now, why isn't this going to repair? Let me come out of it, go back into it. Click on repair. There we go, that's better, right. Maintainability low. Interesting. I was watching one of Scruff's recent videos over on his Rawlinson Vale farm the other day, and he did a little bit of looking into what this maintainability means within the advanced damage system, and that means it's the lower the worse, basically. If that was good or high or whatever it terms it, that'd be all right. But this is, yes, it's got 32 hours on it, but it's, for us, it's an almost brand new tractor. Why is the maintainability low? That's a bit shocking, isn't it? But anyway, that's by the by. In fact, what I might do first, let me just jump out of here. Let's give it a very quick inspection. Because one of the other things I think I need to get used to doing is to do things like... Right, we're all right there. But do things like whip out the air machine, for example, before the use of every tractor, before using any kind of machine, and just get into the habit of doing this before any work, essentially. Just because, A, it's good practice, and B, you know, it negates the need for me to always have to jump in and give everything an inspection. But anyway, yeah, it's just something I've considered I might need to do. The other thing I noticed as well is, it's probably down to the wear, but you see my 250 badge underneath the 6R. The 250 is completely worn down to shiny silver. That should be the same orangey yellow as that 6R in the John Deere over there. So that was I don't think I'm going to be able to write that unless I remove all the wear from the tractor. But anyway, So, right, let's click on repair. Let's jump in, give this what are we on, 2,360 quid for maintenance. 117 grand to overhaul. You must be kidding me. Right, so where are we at here? 7 hours and 4 minutes for a standard. 1 hour and 46 for minimal. 10 hours for an extended. 14 hours for a preventive. Isn't it preventative? I don't know. I didn't think I'd be out of it for that long, though. 7 hours. Repair any faults found, yeah. Select consumables quality. OEM for 2,360. Used for 780. But that seems like a silly idea, really. Aftermarket for 1,560. Premium 2,840. OEM 2,360. So it's only a few hundred quid more to go for premium. But in this instance, I'm actually quite tempted to go for aftermarket. Trying to think what's the best to do here. 7 hours. No, do you know what? Let's just go for this minimal one for now with the aftermarket parts. Repair any faults. Yeah. It does need to be done. I appreciate that. That's going to finish at 12 o'clock. Right, okay. Time's it now? It's 10:15. Yeah, that's going to be finished at 12 o'clock. But, yeah, I just don't want to be without that tractor for such a long period of time. We've only got today and tomorrow for what's left of September. Yeah. Whether that was the right decision or not, I don't know. But either way, anyway, right, let's... what do I need to do now? What I'm going to do is we're going to jump in and we're going to have a look at the numbers in our map PDA. So we can now see things in a little bit more detail. So we'll start at the top with the nitrogen. Focusing again on 15, 18 and 19 here where we've just been working. So we can now see, now that it's got the grass in the ground, we can now see that this particular section of the field, area, I suppose we call it area 15, it is currently 15 parts per million higher than what the target is needed for grass. In the central section of the field, it's 81 parts per million higher than what's needed for grass. And down in area 19, it's 48 parts per million for nitrogen. So the whole field is over nitrogened, apparently, so not much we can do about that. Let's go and have a look at the phosphorus, which we are going to be dealing with shortly by spraying on some liquid MAP, monoammonium phosphate. So, in area 15, we have, across the whole thing, 1 part per million is needed to bring it up to the optimal level. The central section, this is where it makes it a little bit awkward for my fields, obviously, because I've joined them all together. We're actually 4 parts per million too high for the target value for grass, and down in area 19, we're 4 parts per million shy of what is needed for grass. So this is where I've got to spray some liquid phosphate in 15 and 19 and try my best to miss out 18 in the middle. And it's the same for potassium, where we'll be spraying some liquid potash. We need 12 parts per million up here in 15. We need 44 parts per million down here in the middle section, 18. And then we're actually over phosphated. 8 parts per million too high in area 19 down here. So I need to spray MAP in 15 and 19, and I need to spray phosphate in 15 and 18. Now the pH levels, again, I think we've seen these before, but obviously 6.6 is optimal. None of this has changed, has it? So there's not much I can do about that. It is what it is. But nonetheless, the grass is in the ground. Our first crop, our first seeds have been planted. So what I need to do now is I need to bring the sprayer out from round here, I think. And then what am I going to do first? I think we'll go for what's needed. It's potash, isn't it, that's needed for 15 and 18. So yeah, we'll get the potash out first. I'll do 15 and 18 and then come and empty this out and get the liquid MAP into it afterwards. So yeah, let's just let that be for now. Let the engine properly warm up. Now, I don't want to be reversing the sprayer into here, because obviously you know how it works when it comes to filling your machines up, filling your implements up when you've got handfuls of IBCs around. I don't want to get the wrong one. So the potash is on the top shelf in front of us there. Let me just wait a few seconds for the motor here to heat up. Get to temperature. Come on. It's one of them where you don't even want to move it. For fear of being told off by ADS. Come on, there we are. There we are, right, okay, so let's pick that up. Now I think because we only need such a small amount, I should potentially get away with just using the one IBC. I did get 2 of each. Oh, now that reminds me, actually, that was a point I wanted to bring up. Just a helpful tip, I suppose. If any of you are like me and you just kind of go charging in head first. Right, let's just drop that there. It's regarding purchasing this stuff out the shop. So let's just lay that down first. Pull it out of the way. Stick this back in here and out of the way. And I'll just show you what I mean. Because I almost did. I almost fell for this. And it would have cost me an enormous amount of money. So let's just drop that off there. Get this sprayer started filling up. There we are. So, yep, liquid potash. So, when you go into buying these products that are part of the soil and fertilizer mod, obviously you pick them up from the consumables section of the yield improvements, but you scroll through them and you look at them and you go, oh, that's quite reasonably priced. In this case, I'm looking at the liquid MAP. So you look at that and it's £712 for 2,000 litres. So let's go into that and go, yeah, oh, I'm going to buy 2 of them. So I clicked on 2 of them and sure enough, look at that. It should be £1,424, shouldn't it, for 2 of those? But all of a sudden, boom, we're being hit with a massive increase in price over, you know, a £4,000 price increase. It's just savage, that. So 4,712 quid I almost paid for 2 IBCs. Now, this seems to carry itself throughout all the different IBCs and products that you can buy. But you get a different price increase. You see, previously with the MAP it was £4,000. Here with the DAP it's 3,600. So obviously the trick is, or the solution to this is just to buy each one individually. Then you'll only pay the 712 quid. But it's just something to be mindful of. Because I almost just went, yep, 2, almost buy, and then I looked at that and thought, hang on a minute, 3,700 quid. You know what I mean? It's like farmers are up against it financially from pretty much every angle. And the last thing they need is to be ripped off by some fertilizer merchant. It's incredible, that, isn't it? So right, let's get ourselves out to the field now. The other thing that doesn't seem to be working for me at the minute as well is the soil and fertilizer heads-up display that's in the mini-map in the bottom left there. If I bring up soil and fertilizer heads-up display, it still doesn't alter what was displaying for me anyway in the previous episode, where you had that custom soil and fertilizer zone heads-up display appear in the mini-map down there in the bottom left-hand corner. So need to check that out when we get into the field. So we'll get round there first and foremost. I think I should have the automatic application rate turned on. I think that'll be the right thing to do. So we'll get the I'll keep the variable rate off, and I'll turn on automatic application rate. Let's just do that right now. Shift and L. Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. It makes sense though, doesn't it? I only want it to apply what needs to be applied, so by definition I should activate the automatic application rate, shouldn't I? Makes sense to me anyway. Right then, so round to the field as quick as possible, because I do want to see if this heads-up display mini-map thing changes when we actually get within the boundaries of the field. We shall see. Very quickly. I've got a horrible feeling, though, it's not going to. No. Let's get this thing unfolded. No, it still doesn't change. We had all those visible tiles in the bottom left-hand corner in the mini-map last time, didn't we? Very, very strange. Not too sure what's caused that. But, right, so, anyway, need to get cracking with this, don't I? So, liquid potash wants putting in areas 15 and 18, but fortunately I can, using what I've got on the mini-map here, I can still work in the 2 fields without... essentially I'm using the mini-map to guide me where I need to be and where I don't need to be. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So, get it sprayed. I'm going to start on the headlands here and just work my way around. Interestingly though, look, in the bottom, in the mini-map, it's recognising it as fertiliser. I suppose a lot of us who've been using precision farming won't be used to seeing this for such a long time, but the base game default blue and light blue overlay that we get when we're fertilising a field, I'm getting that here in field 15. And not anything to do with the soil and fertilizer mod. Interesting. Right then, okay, anyway, let's get cracking with this. I think I'll speed this footage up. I'll try not to faff around as best as possible, but yeah, I'm going to get the potash sprayed, as we are doing here, get this finished off, fly back to the farm, fill up with the liquid MAP, and get these 2 bits done, and hopefully, once that's done, that'll be us finished with this field, essentially, until first cut in December. So, let's get cracking. Right, so here I am now spreading the liquid MAP. I figured I'd just pull my finger out and get on with it. I'd imagine it's quite tedious, maybe, watching someone in cab just speeding up the footage, but this is well worth it, considering how economical this product is, plus the potash that we just sprayed before. I'm just going to come to the end of this row, and then I'm just going to jump into a little bit more detail in the soil and fertilizer thing again, because there was actually one or two things that I actually missed out from the previous episode where I was going into a bit more detail. But right, let's just bring that to a stop. Let's jump out and have a look, because up until doing this spraying, we had, if I jump into this area here, this is a patch of the field here, if we focus on the bottom right in the box there, it says a yield bonus of 47%. Before it was at 45%, and now it's at 47% after rolling. That was the extra 2%. But if I then just take a step into this area here, boom, 70% yield bonus. That's a massive jump and well worth it. So yeah, and looking at the soil monitor information in the top right hand box there, everything is looking relatively good. I've still got this little patch to do. I say little patch, this bit here, this strip down, this here, and that bit down there. Excuse me. But what I did want to point out to you was that there is another menu that Soil and Fertilizer has, and you access this by pressing Shift and O, and that brings up the basic settings, I suppose. And one of the things I just wanted to bring to your attention was, you see we got the green squares dotted across the field. That is called the work trail, and you can turn that off if you want. It was just something that I hadn't actually appreciated. You can do that, but yeah, the show spray and harvest pass trail overlays. That's what those green boxes are. that we see dotted across the field where you work. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. So I am actually going to turn those off because they're a little bit annoying, if I'm honest. But there we go. So I'm going to crack on with this and get this done. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that to your attention while I still had a little bit of the field here ready to do. Now, I still haven't been able to get the soil and fertilizer official overlay back into the minimap in the bottom left-hand corner, which is a little bit annoying. But anyway, it's one of these where it is such an extremely complicated mod. It's just, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's just maybe normal that we're going to be getting all of these, I say all, these particular just little graphical glitches, I suppose. I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong, I'm really not. It's an absolutely incredible mod. So anyway, let's get this finished off. I'm quite enjoying doing this freehand as well. I'm not using any steering assist or any of that. I'm just going at it freehand, because like I've said this a few times before, I know, but I spend that much time putting cinematics together, relying on Courseplay and auto drive, that it is actually a really, really nice change just to do things by hand manually. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So anyway, right, well, I'll pick you up when it's done. Shouldn't be much longer now, a couple of minutes. Right then, there we go, job done. Let me just pull out the field onto this little area here, so I'm not just stood on the soil, because you do have to consider compaction as well. As you can see in the top right hand side there in the soil monitor, it does consider soil compaction. But now we're done, let's just jump out of here and go and have a bit of a better look at all this data, because it's just mega, it really is. So we can see what we can see in the soil nutrient section there. So yield is optimal. We're well over with the nitrogen, as we knew, in the parts per million there, but the phosphorus, I'm still getting used to what's P and K, but yeah, P is phosphorus. We have it's saying 35 out of 24, so we've over phosphored. And the potassium in the K parts per million, 168 out of 160. So yeah, there we go. Now the pH in this bit is 7.2. This is the area of the field that has been over-limed, and you can see that in the display in the top right hand there with the red bar. And like I said, there is something I could potentially do about that, but I'm not going to, because it is still a bit uneven. This bit's over-limed, the central bit's still slightly under-limed, and the top northern section of the field is optimal. So but anyway, the main number I was focusing on was the yield bonus. So there at 70%. So that's great. Really looking forward to getting, because I need the grass out of here. I need as much grass as possible to see us through for as long as possible, because this is going to be the only grass we're going to get to cut this year. As I said, we've got to wait till November before the mint is ready to harvest. Once we've got that out of the ground, then we can run the cultivators, join those other 3 fields together, run this same process, spread the lime and all that kind of stuff, but we're not going to get a cut out of that field till next year. So this, I'm going to essentially, I don't know how I'm going to split it yet, but maybe 2/3 silage, 1/3 hay, perhaps. Maybe approach it in that way, just so that I've got a good chunk of hay and silage. I hope that I'm going to be cutting it very fine. I think I did mention the numbers before. We've got 15 5,500 litre silage bales on the farm at the minute, 82,500 litres. That's currently 63% fermented, or it might be 1 or 2 more now because we're a couple of hours later. But I've only got 7 6,500 litre bales of hay, 45,500 litres. So that hay has to cater for the sheep, but also the TMR as well. And we've got winter coming, of course, so the Herefords are going to be going into the barn. So we're going to need to start mixing essentially double the amount of TMR, because they're currently healthily surviving on grass and hay over there in the pasture. So that's all good. But yeah, we'll just jump very quickly into the map PDA and have a look at these soil layers. Now with the phosphorus here, as you can see, we are nicely, even though it looks a little bit patchy, everything, oh, one's missed there, 1 ppm needed in that one and that one, even though I have been over here. But now we're 8 parts per million too high on these tiles, sorry, but we're 1 parts per million too low in that one. The central part of the field, this takes a bit of getting used to, doesn't it? But yeah, 4 parts per million too high, 5 parts per million down here, 7 there. So it's maybe it averages itself out across the whole field. I don't know, but the main thing is I've done what I've needed to do. I've done my job. There's certainly a lot to take in, isn't there? And obviously there's a lot of fine tuning to get used to and learn. The potassium again. Oh, there's still a few bits missing here. Goodness. But if we go to the treatment plan, now we want 15, 18 and 19. So this is field 15. Plough in manure and compost or chopped straw. This is something I still need to understand. If any of you are out there who do know more than I do, which is probably most of you, the organic matter side of the soil and fertilizer mod in the soil amelioration section up here, plough in manure, compost or chopped straw. Am I assuming that the only way we can do that is post-harvest, when we're literally running the combine harvester and we fire the straw out the back end instead of turning it into straw swaths to pick up to bale? Is that how we would increase the organic matter levels of a field? Is that how we do it? Because I don't know of any other way that we could put straw on a field. Yeah, please do let me know. Fields 18. Now this is the one that we have the discrepancy in the lime after spreading lime last week, but everything else is now hunky-dory. And also in 19 as well. There we go. Everything is hunky-dory completely. Oh, it's now saying pH is okay in this one. Interesting. Okay. Right. Very interesting. But yeah, it is mega, isn't it? It really is. This mod, absolutely brilliant. Right, so I'm going to get rid of that. But I have waffled on for far too long now today, ladies and gentlemen, I feel. I think we've got a decent bit of work done in this episode, focused again on this field. But I had to do it. This was the first of our fields that we had to get planted and get drilled and get taken over, essentially. And the next one will be... what's the next crop we need to focus on? The wheat, which is going into field 10, which is right on the hill up there. We can sort that out in October. So, yeah. Plenty to do. So anyway, for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to call it here. Thank you very much for watching. I really do hope you have enjoyed this episode and found it a little bit of fun and a little bit interesting. As always, if you're new to the channel and you like the video, you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting that subscribe button and jumping on board, joining the channel. Please give the video a like as well if you can. It does do wonders, helps the YouTube algorithm do its thing. And if you like the idea of supporting the channel, there's a couple of ways you can do that. There is my Giants Partner promo code. If any of you are in the market for purchasing Farming Simulator 25 or any of its add-ons or DLCs, there's coffee.com if you'd like to buy me a coffee. And there is also my G-Portal affiliate link. If any of you are in the market for an online server to play with your mates, any help and support there, ladies and gentlemen, as always, is massively appreciated. So, thanks again for your time, folks. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.